Amazing things. You will do amazing things. I will do amazing things. We are here for a divine purpose. We are here to fulfill that purpose that Spirit has designed each and every one of us, for we are all individualized expressions of that divine Spirit, and we are all worthy and deserving of the good that is awaiting our call. And it is there already in the potential. It's already been made. Other, there's nothing else for us to do other than to live our life fully and listen to that divine Spirit from within as it guides and directs us. In our Science of Mind magazine, in the daily guide for today, the title of the message says, "Why not me?" And there's a Chinese proverb that is quoted, and it says, "The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it." And our founder, Ernest Holmes, says, "The action of the law, the universal law, the action of the law never changes, but the direction of the action is always up to us." Like the childhood game of the same name, I've used the acronym TAG: Thanksgiving, Appreciation, Gratitude. To tag the things in life that represent my heart's desire. And we've taught students to move from the disempowering question of why me, when it seems like things are happening in the negative or in the unfortunate way, to that unlimited consideration of why not me? In our philosophy of Science of Mind, we are forever teaching the idea that all things are created out of that divine nature of the wholeness and the oneness and what I choose to call God. And therefore, out of its nature, everything that is being created, everything that's being manifested and demonstrated in our physical universe comes from that place of goodness, comes from that place of wholeness. So if there's anything unlike that which is appearing not to be good, it is appearing to be out of that place of lack or limitation or anger or distrust or the disharmony of disease that's moving around and about us, it's only because we've not yet realized and revealed the greater truth of who we are. And that we have an opportunity as we are moving through this experience that we call life, we have the opportunity to look at things in a different perspective, to see things in a more empowering aspect. And as I continue to say throughout this pandemic that we're dealing with, that even though there's an appearance of something not right, of something that is causing disease and illness and even death, that there's also a greater potential that's here. There's a greater possibility if we're willing to look for the good in this. For if this is a part of that wholeness, it's a part of the divine nature, then there must be a good in it. And I know that the action of Spirit, the action of the divine, is to bring about whatever is showing up in this thing called life, bringing it forward into a greater good. And I know that we don't always have the capacity to see what that greater good is, but I know that there is an opportunity for us if we're willing to do the work, if we're willing to step forth and make the effort to bring it about. as I said, entering into this message this evening, that when we look at the news, when we look at the actions and the reactions of people that is going on in the world, that we can get caught up in the negative. And the 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 caution that I want to give to us each this evening is that if we continue to focus on only the negative, if we continue to focus on only the lack and the limitation, then we're only going to draw more of that into our life experience. And though we can't change everything in the world, and though we can't bring about a greater good for everybody in this moment in the way that we would like to, I know that we're moving towards that place, that the possibility of bringing about a greater good, the possibility of creating a world that works for all, the possibility of bringing about an experience that we can learn to trust one another in a greater way. We can learn to accept all others, regardless of how they may show up in a way that appears different than us. For it is all different. We are all unique. We are all individualized expressions of spirit, and we all have a purpose here. We're all meant to be here in order to bring forth a greater picture. And so if we, here in our beloved community in the Center for Spiritual Living in Menifee Valley, if we can continue to practice the teaching that says that we can love one another, that we should love our neighbors as well as we and respect ourselves as well as we do one another, then we will create a better world and a better life. And in that that acronym of TAG, the idea of thanksgiving and appreciation and gratitude, that if we can spend some time each day going around and tagging all of that which we are, just like in that game tag, go around and touch the things that we are grateful for, to be thankful for all that that we have in our experience, to show gratitude, even if we only have a little, to be able to show gratitude for that which we have, then that will draw into our life experience even more that we can be grateful for. And I'm certainly not one to suggest that we should ever avoid or ignore that which is going on in the world that is not whole, perfect, and complete. Because within there is something that is good. And I believe that part of our purpose, part of our experience to be here is to reach out and to go a little deeper and see if we can't find that good. See if we can look past the appearance and go into a deeper place and discover and reveal a greater truth. For I know that there are areas within each of us in our life, in our experience, in which we would like to be a little bit better. We would like to have a little bit more. We would like to do a little bit more good. And sometimes we feel like there's just too much to conquer. We feel like it's too big for us to tackle. Well, I know that we're not here to change the world or create the world, because Spirit has already done that. The world has already been created. It's already got a natural flow. It's going to take care of itself. The planet is in that way, doing whatever it needs to do to survive and take care of itself, and it will continue to do that. And sometimes that feels like it gets in our way, that we think that we're maybe more important than the planet. Well, I don't think that that's going to serve our greater good. We need to do what we can to take care of the planet, to take care of what's been given to us, and then make sure that there's some that there's some left over for generations and generations to follow. So let's not use it all up. Let's not mistreat it. And let's not mistreat each other. Let's give respect to one another to the best of our ability, to slow down, even if it's just a little bit slower, in our pace in life, so that we can appreciate the things that are working for us, so that we can recognize the things that we are grateful for, so that we can ensure that we are part of the solution and not part of the problem. Oftentimes, our thoughts and our words will lead us into actions that are setting in motion something that is more limiting and more negative than what we would have intended to do. So if we spend a little bit time each day and we remember the magnificence of who we are, because we are divine creations of spirit in this life experience. And if we can remember that, if we can remember that we are coming from that creator of all good, then we will recognize that we are worthy and deserving, and that we will step out and we will use our skills and our talents and our gifts. And through that, we will do amazing things. And though they may not show up on the big screen of life, it's going to show up in our personal life. It's going to show up in our intimate connections. It's going to show up in our beloved community in a way in which we are bringing about a greater experience, not only for the Center for Spiritual Living, but for the community of Menifee and the surrounding areas. And then, of course, because many of us are coming from an even greater distance, we're going to bring about that into the larger region and the larger influence of our sphere of life. And so I think that we have this opportunity, as we're using here tonight, we have the opportunity of using Zoom to reach out beyond our community and even our geographical area, so that we can include so many more others into our experience. And hopefully we will be instrumental in bringing about more peace, more love, more justice, and more harmony into the world. So I just suggest that if you find yourself in a situation where you're feeling like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Change your perspective and change your thought pattern from why me to why not me? I am a magnificent creation of spirit, and I will do, and we will do, and you will do amazing things. So thank you for being here this evening. I appreciate that. And I'm going to I'm going to close out with an affirmative prayer, a spiritual mind prayer. And then I'm going to open it up for fellowship in sharing. So I just invite you to go within and find that that place within where you know that you are an individualized expression of spirit, that you know that there truly is only one life, one mind, one power, and that this infinite intelligence and this absolute power and this eternal life is moving through each and every one of us right here and right now. And so I speak my word of truth, knowing that for our beloved community, the Center for Spiritual Living, Menifee Valley, for all who enter into our service, into our time of celebration, that they carry with them the gifts and the balance and the talents that is theirs to bring into the world. And we acknowledge one another and we validate one another because we know that we are all worthy and deserving. And whatever obstacle or challenge may be appearing in our life experience now, I know that Spirit is guiding us through that so that we come to the other side with more clarity, more understanding, revealing that greater good of who we are. And for all people in the world, I know that there is a truth that is being revealed through them, as them, and is them in this moment, right here and right now. And having spoken this word, I remain in that place of gratitude. And I surrender to that power and that presence that dwells within each and every one of us. And I release this word, this prayer, back up and over and into the mind of God, because I know right there, it is already made so. It is whole, perfect, and complete. It is good and very good. And knowing that, I simply affirm that it is. And we say together, and so it is. Amen.